fight fans, this Saturday we got ourselves a fight, and it just so happens to be the final fight of the legendary career of Fedor Emelianenko. Guys, we already know Fedor. He is by far MMA. I mean, he is like the MMA godfather, honestly, if you could say. Everybody and their mother who ever watched MMA or ever watched UFC, Pride, Strikeforward, it don't matter what kind of outlet you were watching, we knew who Fedor was. Fedor was literally the god of MMA in some ways. He is literally on everybody's GOAT list regarding him. Him being the greatest of all time, the greatest heavyweight of all time. He is literally on that list. I mean, and I can't blame him because he is literally has fought some who's who of the MMA world, not just UFC. He never went to the UFC, and that's what's very unfortunate. We all wish he would have been able to go to UFC. If you remember his career back in the earlier days, he was actually supposed to face Randy Couture, but they just couldn't get a deal taking place. And that was just very unfortunate because that would have been so amazing, so amazing. I would have loved to see that fight and loved to see him fight all these other guys. There was even talks about him versus Brock Lesnar. There was all these different talks. So it would have been so fun, so much fun to see these guys fight. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. But still, within the MMA community, with Pride, with Strikeforce, he literally fought the who's who. I'm talking about the Nogueras. I'm talking about Dan Henderson. I'm talking about Rampage, Sonnen. I'm talking about, the names go on and on and on. Kendall Randleman, Mark Holman, like the names go on and on and on, over and over and over. So we could go all day about talking about Fedor Emelianenko. But he is fighting. His last fight is against Ryan Bader. Now, Ryan Bader had already previously beat him. Ryan Bader is the Bellator's heavyweight champion of the world, and he had won the tournament by beating Fedor back in January of 2019. So that's how he was able to capture that belt. Ryan Bader right now is on a 2-fight winning streak. He did beat a couple of fighters that just wasn't the greatest performance. He beat Czech Congo and he beat another fighter named Valentin, I believe his name is. Both unanimous decision, but it wasn't the greatest. He unfortunately lost by knockout to Corey Anderson at the light heavyweight because at one point or another, Ryan Bader was the double champ of light heavyweight and heavyweight. So unfortunately, he lost that early on. He got another title shot against Corey Anderson, but unfortunately, he lost that as well. So, but still, nonetheless, Ryan Bader is 39 years old. He is going to be the younger fighter in this fight against Fedor Emelianenko. Excuse me. With Fedor, he is literally at 46 years old. He is 46 years old. Definitely grandfather than, good God, this guy shouldn't be doing this. But imagine, this guy is now fighting for a championship at 46 years old. And he's looked really, really good at sometimes. The guy has literally fought, like I said, the who's who, and he has only lost 6 times. And right now, his last loss was against Ryan Bader in 2019. He beat Rampage Jackson by knockout. Then he beat another fighter in Bellator. I'm actually drawing a blank right now. I think it was Tim Johnson or somewhere around to that effect. But he beat both of them by knockout. And still, like, Fedor still has power, and Fedor still has been able to really do really damage on a lot of fighters. He lost to Matt Mitrione. He was able to beat guys like Chael Sonnen, like I said, against Rampage. He unfortunately lost again, like I said, to Ryan Bader and a few other fighters, but still, he still is one dangerous fighter. Still, 100%. What do I think is going to happen in this fight? I do feel like it's going to be a little bit more of the first. I feel like this fight is not going to get out of the first round. If it does, I'll be very surprised. I do feel like they both got high caliber wrestling. Ryan Bader comes out of ASU, I believe. We got Fedor, who has been on the Olympic team in Russia and such like that. He has one hell of a resume regarding his wrestling and judo and whatnot. Go ahead and look on Wikipedia. You can see it. His credentials is just literally like a freaking phone book. But yeah, I believe these guys are wrestling will cancel each other out and they will stay on the ground. And I do feel like with the youth on Ryan Bader's side, I do feel like it will be a knockout either in the first round, possibly the second round, the very latest. I could definitely see that transpiring. But it will be very unfortunate for Ryan. It's very unfortunate that Fedor took on this fight. I would really hope that to see a little bit different fight for him, especially for his last fight. But hey, you know what? He said that this is the fight he wanted. He wanted this fight. He wanted to fight Ryan Bader. he wanted Ryan Bader to be his last fight. So hey, you know what? The guy is a legend. You give him what he wants. You know, I believe like every legend is actually going to be there. I heard there's going to be a long list of invitations that are fighters from Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, Rampage, Chael Sonnen, the Gracies. Like a bunch of people are showing up over there to give respect to Fedor Emelianenko, because again, Fedor is just a legend. He is a god. He is literally MMA. And, you know, and this is going to be his last fight. This is going to be his final fight. So, you know, hopefully, he even said win, lose, or draw, this is going to be his final fight. So, hopefully, Fedor can pull it off. But if he can't, you know, it was one hell of a show, one hell of a career. Definitely first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. He should be a Hall of Famer already. But that's just my personal opinion. But let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think is going to happen in the fight? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think Brown is going to be finished in? Let me know what you think about Fedor Emelianenko's career. Let me know what you think will be next, or potentially be next for Ryan Bader. Just let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video.